Welcome to the Society Pod, a podcast for entrepreneurs, marketers, and leaders. Here's your host, Jessica Yarmy.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Society Pod. My guests today, I have two guests today. They are the new dream team in the fitness industry. One is an equipment guru who knows everything and anything about how to build out a gym or studio. The other is an accomplished CrossFit Games athlete who's literally chasing peak human performance on the daily. They've teamed up to introduce Xpodium to the US and to Canada. Welcome to the show, Matt Burruss and Spencer Panchik.
Hey, we're glad to be here.
I just gave a very brief hype intro for you guys, but Matt, why don't you share your background first and how do you introduce yourself?
So I know a lot about equipment. I came from a really cool company called Stroops. I think produces the best resistance bands in the game, a lot of cool functional equipment. I was there for 4 years. And then before that, I worked at a cool company called Box Out, which is a large distributor that owns 6 companies. So I had an account with probably 80 or 90% of the fitness companies out there. So my background comes from equipment, how to bring it in, logistics. I've also sourced a lot of stuff from overseas. That's kind of my expertise. And I know a lot about rigs and a lot of the equipment, and I use it every day that Xpodium sells. But Spencer is really specialist in like rigs and designing the gym and setting it up so you can use it for sports performance, functionally, etc. So we do make an awesome team. It's exciting to work together and kind of come at it from both angles there.
Spencer, how do you introduce yourself?
Right now, I'm currently a CrossFit Games athlete. I've been in fitness really all my life. I started CrossFit 16 years ago. Progressively, I've just been working up the steps to really finding peak human performance. And along my journey, I've had a chance to be a part of opening my own gym, helping other people open gyms, and just building a solid foundation in what it takes to operate a gym, open a gym, you name it.
And you're now my Ohio-based training partner. We're going to get in shape for the summer. That's what we've just decided offline here. Neither of you said entrepreneurial, but I feel like both of you have this like entrepreneurial element to what you do and how you run through space. Spencer, you have a couple different businesses technically, right?
You can call it that. It's just doing what I enjoy, and I don't look at it as a job whenever I'm doing that. It's always been challenging for me to stay in one place. I build knowledge and spend time around different people, athletes, mentors. It just gets me really excited to just branch off and kind of do my own thing. I was really lucky to be able to meet Matt, and with my platform just through CrossFit, I've been able to just connect the dots on how can we really make a difference and change the world. And for me, it's through health and fitness. And I had an accident when I was younger where I fell off a cliff, and there was a lack of fitness with some of the first responders. And that led me down the path of going and pursuing my EMT. And I wanted to help these guys firsthand, making a difference. I don't want anyone to ever feel helpless. I'm super passionate about helping first responders, especially. I got involved into the tactical games this past year. I've owned my own affiliate. Being able to do this with equipment, like that's my mission, is to be able to just spend global health and wellness. That's the key to a happy and healthy life.
You have quite the ecosystem going where it's gym, but now it's equipment, and you obviously have your own platforms that you build on as a content creator. But what is Xpodium and how did this all come to be? And why did you guys decide to bring this offering to the US and to Canada?
Spencer's a pro athlete. All these people want him to wear stuff, use things, right? That's how he makes a living. One of these companies was Xpodium. I was helping him a little bit with some of the brands. He was asking me questions, my opinion and stuff, because I have experience with that stuff. And when I looked into this brand, it was super interesting. There's a lot of fitness equipment companies out there, right? Barrier to entry now in the supply chain to become a fitness equipment company is almost nothing. You don't need that much money. The contacts can be made. You all know that. At the top of fitness, it is what it is. But the difference in Xpodium is I simply Googled this company and I saw that they're selling this product in Malaysia, the Philippines, Russia, Japan, China, Thailand. I can go on. And each one of these countries has an amazing Instagram. They've got great social media. And if you look, they're not selling equipment. They're selling a lifestyle. And the lifestyle is being created and it's getting out of the hemisphere over there that it's being in, and it's pushing on all sides. And the amount of sales that they're doing in all these countries is incredible. I saw that and I realized this is a huge opportunity, not to bring another equipment company to the United States. We need that like hole in our head, but it's to bring a lifestyle that in all these different countries, they're loving and participating in. And I don't need to sell that to America. I just need to show them and they'll want it. And if you Google Xpodium, you will see that. I mean, there's crazy stuff on there. Like I saw one video of these cars pulling out of a parking lot and they had all painted Xpodium on their cars. That is not an equipment company. That is a brand. It's a lifestyle. That's what we're trying to bring. And I think the equipment is just a part of us. You ask what's different about us than an equipment company. We're not an equipment company. It's a lifestyle company. It's a brand. We sell gear. The equipment is just part of it. That's how it's cool.
HFA last year, or I guess at the time it was URSA, there were all these knockoff companies that were coming in to really support that CrossFit kind of functional training kind of market. But to your point, really none of them were brands. They were really mats, equipment offering. I think it's interesting that you're picking up a lifestyle brand and then you're attaching Spencer's personal brand to it in order to bring it to the US and introduce it, not in a way that's the nuts and bolts of the equipment, but really holistically, what are we trying to be in the fitness market?
He is that. That's his life. It's a real thing. I am looking from inside the box and I see it. And when I saw the Xpodium and I saw these countries and I saw the pictures and I saw it was on Instagram, I knew it was special. What's interesting is, as soon as I started posting the stuff on my LinkedIn, I've gotten some very, very interesting phone calls from some top people in the fitness business, because everyone at the top of the fitness business knows it's not about how good your equipment is or how cool it is, whatever. It's about a lifestyle brand. That's what sells, the lifestyle. And they see it. They can go through and go, that's a lifestyle brand. That's not just equipment.
So who should be picking up the phone and calling you? Are you mainly talking to big boxes? Are you talking to boutique? Where are you focusing your effort, or who's your best customer right now?
I haven't talked to any big boxes yet. Boutique, yes. People who want really cool sports performance gyms. The people who really want to call us are people who have their vision, have their lifestyle and identity that they're trying to create, and they get it. All they do is come to us and say, here it is, Matt. Here's what we're trying to do. Now you build the equipment. Spencer, you design the gym for that lifestyle and that brand. We let us do what we do well.
What's the feedback that you're getting on the offering, and how are people reacting to the lifestyle element of the brand?
First of all, the equipment is really cool, like stainless steel rigs that you can customize and change color. So it's super cool. And that allows people to adapt to their brand and lifestyle. Because if you were to go buy, just like you said, equipment from one of these 20 equipment companies that kind of just have equipment and they're not really pushing a lifestyle, they can only adapt so much to your lifestyle. But we can say, you want pink dumbbells? What you need? That's so important to you. That's it. Okay, we'll do it. We got pink, and we can adapt to that. And they can see that through what I'm posting online, that it's all different. You see the stuff from Thailand I'm posting. You see the stuff from Japan. You see the stuff from China, and all these different gyms that they're built. They all have a different vision of what they want, but we can take this equipment malleable to fit it. Really cool.
Let's say Jessica's opening a gym and I'm single unit operator. Are you able to support single unit operators, or do you need customers that have a big footprint across the country?
We're working on a couple single operator deals right now, some really big ones and some ones that are looking for $25,000 of equipment. And you can buy less than that too. We're going to have in 2 weeks, the website that I'm building is going to be absolutely awesome. It's going to have all our equipment. You can call us up and discuss anything you want, or just order off that. But the truth is, all of our rigs and really most of our equipment, we can customize in any way. The rigs, whatever you want. Even if you want a small rig, we're building it for you. So you tell me how tall you want it, whatever. And there's no extra charge for that. We can easily deal with a small gym and they'll love our prices and love what we can do. If you're a big gym, we can scale it out too, and build a 24 slot rig if you want. doesn't really matter the size.
I love that. And I hope that there's people who are listening in addition to me that have their brains churning a little bit with different things that they could work with you guys on. I want to move into fitness industry as in general, because both of you have a wealth of knowledge on the fitness industry from different perspectives. As you're looking at the space in general, what are you most excited about that's happening in fitness at the moment?
You're seeing the space just constantly evolve. And I think anybody that's doing anything in fitness, it's okay, what am I training for? You need to have that goal. You look at like CrossFit. Okay, I'm training for the CrossFit Open. You have HYROX. Okay, I'm training for a HYROX. 5Ks. You have this whole spectrum of different goals. That's what's so special about Xpodium is share your goals with us and we're able to help you build whatever you want to train for those. And being able to have those goals and to chase them, that makes training 10 times more fun.
I'm excited because if you rewind the clock 10 years ago, fitness was just starting to get cool, like Orange Theory, stuff like that. Right now, we are in like a vortex of change in fitness that is greater than it's ever been. And I can tell you, I see it in many ways. Like Spencer has been doing CrossFit his whole life. He's now doing the tactical games. He's looking at HYROX. He's looking at all these other things. And he's never done that because he's a pro CrossFitter. And why would he? But now this vortex I'm talking about is opening up all these crazy fitness things. Look at strength training going through the roof. So it's exciting. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm happy with Xpodium and where we are because it's strength training. In this vortex, strength training is coming to the top. Dumbbells, kettlebells, barbells. I really am excited to see where this is going to go because I think we all know last year was really difficult for boutique franchises because interest rates went through the roof, the price of equipment did, and everyone's like, oh, I don't have $800,000 to open up a gym now. But that's going to change. They'll figure that out. It'll get back to normal, but we'll see where this vortex I'm talking about ends up, and it's happening right in front of us. So it'll be cool.
I think it's a super exciting time because you see in big boxes, they're finally connecting the dots that people want the strength training experience. Maybe it's not rigs. I think some are going as far as rigs, but it's definitely like Smith machine environments are more commonly used now than the cardio environments. I think there is a resurgence of the importance of strength training, and not just strength training for gym bros, but like strength training for everyday athletes, strength training specifically for women and for beginners. I think people are like getting more comfortable with the fact that it's a good entry point. And then you also have like all of this other recovery side of the industry. If you're going to crush it 3 to 4 days a week, you need to have the recovery to like get you back in to like continue to crush it. Who do you see in the space right now that's winning with that game? Spencer, maybe you have the best like vantage point for that.
It all depends on exactly what you're looking for. We'll just use HYROX for an example right now. I think that's the top thing that's new, like the trajectory of that with affiliate and everything. It's just going through the roof right now. When I look at something like that, you're looking for more of a CrossFit style gym, functional fitness, strength training. You have your rigs. It's versatile for everything. I think anybody that's marketing towards that has an advantage right now, but it's also forcing all the other brands, hey, like we need to start to figure out how to adapt to this new fitness program that's coming in, and we need to figure out how are we going to be able to be competitive in this space. Your more functional style fitness definitely has an advantage right now.
And Matt, who do you feel like is losing? Who's in a struggle state?
I would say right now, boutique gyms are losing because of the pricing structure, but that's just finance and that'll work itself out. I also think, as much as anybody probably doesn't want me to say it, the recovery space, when you have like a single place that say just does ice baths or something, those places are now going to get beat because the big box gyms have figured out how to put that in now. Once the big box gyms for $90 a month or $80 a month figure out how to get an ice bath and a good sauna and all that stuff, that's going to probably hurt those recovery places, is my guess. I could be wrong on that. It looks to me places that do single things are really going to get hurt because this end of this vortex I was talking about, what I'm seeing down the pipe, and I could be wrong, but I see what I call like the super club model. And that's going to be these big box gyms that have everything. I foresee them having a bar selling alcohol 5 years from now. I'm not making that up. No, I'm serious, because it's a lifestyle thing and the people are going to hang out after. I know that sounds crazy. You watch. That's what people do at the gym.
Fitness is the new social, for instance. It's like people would rather go and meet people through fitness and, hey, we're going to go do an event and then we'll hang out after. I mean, how many events it's like they have a keg of beer at the end of the race. I'm going to have a beer with the guys. We're going to celebrate that we finished. Them just going out and partying, using that as like a social hour. But I think you're starting to see a shift really in just the world in general of fitness and using that to meet new people and set new goals and new standards.
Yeah, that's the lifestyle thing I'm talking about. Like, that's it. That's what works with fitness and keeping the long-term brand making money is you build that lifestyle. And again, Xpodium USA is against alcohol. It's bad for you. The reality is it's part of life. And that, I'm telling you, this is all going to be these clubs in the future, I think, are places where you go for 3 hours, but you're only working out for 45 minutes. That's what I'm seeing. I could be wrong on that.
I think that's what the big box club experience was always meant to be. It was meant to be get your cross training in throughout the week. Like you have your strength training, you have your cardio, and you have your smoothie bar. You're evolving it to be a bar. But like even if you look at non-alcoholic drink trends, I think all of that is happening. And I do think people have the awareness around holistic health, maybe more so than they've ever had before. So if you are single modality, people are stacking single modality memberships on top of each other, or they're stacking single modality drop-ins on top of each other to get their complete fitness offering. But I do see the community aspect being huge. And Spencer, you mentioned the HYROX competition, I guess now, and like that culture. How is that culture different than the CrossFit culture? Where are they trying to differentiate themselves in the mix?
So CrossFit's for anybody. I own my CrossFit gym. Like I would do like an on-ramp and basically people would come in and we would teach them the movements and show them different modifications for the movements, and CrossFit's for anyone. Now, when I look at HYROX, it's a little bit more simplified where it's basically black and white. The only thing that I would probably say that's a little bit more complex would be a wall ball. And even that, it's, hey, am I squatting below parallel? Am I hitting the target? But when I look at HYROX, it's, hey, anybody can just go and do this. You're pushing a sled, you're running, you're doing burpees. The standards are very basic. You can set that as your goal, and it's a fitness 5K, essentially. Every year, my family, we go and run a turkey trot, and everybody's training to put up the best time in this 5K. Now, when I look at HYROX, I think it's a fitness 5K. If I could simplify it, that's probably the best way to put it.
I think that's an interesting way to describe it. And maybe that helps describe why it's caught on so fast. Because if you think about the 5K during Thanksgiving or whatever moment, most people can go out and do a 5K, not necessarily competitively, but you can go and you can get it done. You have that community aspect, you have that team camaraderie, and you have the sense of accomplishment when you're done with the 5K. And it seems like that's what they're trying to play into, is be an entry point for people, but then also allow for that highest level competition, something to work up toward.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just complex enough that you have to be fit for a 5K, but it's all single modality where I'm just going to run in order to get better at running. Now I'm running in different time domains and all the different things that you're going to do to get better at running. Now, when I look at HYROX, you're adding the functional fitness side into it as well. And yeah, like I said, it's just complex enough that, hey, like you still have to put a lot of time and effort into developing all these different movements. It's not just one movement specific.
Back to like the vortex of fitness change that we're in, this massive change is HYROX, like CrossFit, is what? It's competitive. It's a competition, right? So one of the changes that we're seeing is people are starting to compete in fitness, lifting dumbbells and barbells, pushing sleds, and that's becoming a much bigger thing now. That's why HYROX is popping up and these other things are popping up, tactical fitness, and it's a way to compete. And I think, truthfully, it makes fitness actually more fun. Spencer and I have started tactical fitness. It's so much fun. I can't wait to do it. I cannot say that about going to the gym every day. Like, I'm not like, oh, I'm going to the gym. It's going to be awesome. I'll beat the crap out of myself for 45 minutes. When we add the tactical part of it on my range in my farm back here, I can't wait to do it. And we'll do it for 2.5 hours there. So this is fun. So much more interesting to work out in so many ways.
So Spencer, you're one of the 20 fittest people in the world according to CrossFit. Is there a similar leaderboard in HYROX? And is there a similar leaderboard in tactical games? Where do we need to be following your ascent?
So HYROX, they have like their own separate leaderboard. I haven't done a HYROX yet. Now, my wife, she's training for one, and I want to definitely throw my hat in there for one this year. But for me, when I do something, I want to be able to set a whole block of training. I'm not going to go in and just participate. When I do something, I'm usually all in. One's going to be on the calendar this year. I know they have a leaderboard with that, and then tactical games. So they do their stuff through practice score. So you can actually search people individually, and you could see all the different events that they've done. So I did one of those last year. I took 12th place at the Nationals. That was just something I did in my off season alongside CrossFit. Obviously, tactical fitness, it's half shooting and half fitness. So when I looked at it, I'm like, is it going to be that hard to be able to pick up shooting a gun? Well, those guys are pretty darn fit. It's very similar to in CrossFit, the amount of movements we have, it's insane. There's constantly adding new movements to it, where when you look at HYROX, you're limited on the movements that you're doing, and you know those movements. In tactical fitness, you know the movements, and you're able to train those movements. You have this different element to everything. And when you look at CrossFit, it's prepare for the unknown. You don't know what the unknown is. If I got to go and rescue my kid or something, if they're on a hillside and I need to carry the stoke baskets up to them, I'm going to be able to do that. If it's just me being a grandparent and I want to be able to throw my kid up in the air when I'm 65 years old, that's preparing for that. And that's what I love about CrossFit, just in particular. It's being prepared for everything. It carries over to everything. You're no longer a specialist at one thing, but you're able to walk into it and be good at it.
I would say the casual 12th place finish is pretty close to being a specialist.
Good. Yeah, Jessica, he came to my place the beginning of the year, and we set up this whole tactical shooting thing behind my barn. Every time I saw him shoot, because I'm a good pistol shooter, I've done competitive pistol shooting. I'm a really good shotgun shooting traffic. He was a horrible shot. I was like, geez. But cool thing was I knew he would be the fittest in the whole thing, right? So if it's half fitness and half shooting, if we can just get him to be a decent shooter, he'll be the best in fitness, and it'll drag him up there. And sure enough, we competed in the first one. It wasn't that great. And then he got into the national championship, which was awesome to begin with. And to get 12, these guys are incredible. I competed in the elite like a moron when I did it. It was unbelievable shape these people are in and how they can shoot with their heart rate at 170. It's insane. And he was able to get in 1 year 12th in something that he really didn't do at all. So I would say next year is going to be super exciting to watch because he is the fittest, but he's getting a hell of a lot better at shooting every day.
Elite level, but bring it down to like the everyday person. What do people get wrong about fitness and about their resolutions?
Fitness is the easiest part. Anybody could go and work out. Now it's, what am I going to do outside of the gym? Is my sleep good? Is my nutrition good? That's the foundation of everything. If you can master everything that you're going to do outside the gym, you're going to be even more invested. That's what a lot of people get wrong. It's, I'm going to go work out for an hour or 2 hours, and then they go home and they stop at McDonald's on the way home. It needs to be the other way. For me personally, I'd rather see somebody eat healthy, build up a good, healthy eating routine, and then add the fitness. You need to look at the building blocks of that, and it's investing in yourself. I think the most important thing is do everything outside the gym right first before you step into the gym. To me, that's the most important thing because it's easy to get off track. I'll start my diet on Monday. I'll do this on Tuesday. So you keep pushing it off more and more. So I think master everything outside the gym, build a routine, and then start chewing away at that fitness.
Have a smart partner. I've never heard anyone articulate it that way. Right? Start outside the gym. Don't start inside the gym. We all know now that the gym is for feeling good, but for looking good, you got to eat right. Whoever listens to this should write down is start outside the gym, get that stuff right, and then go to the gym. Vice versa.
I love that advice. Spencer, I'm sure like a ton of people connect with you and they're interested in becoming a professional CrossFitter or a professional athlete in some form or fashion. What advice do you share with that more elite level person?
And I think in CrossFit, it's like a hierarchy pyramid. And the first thing to master is your nutrition. And then you slowly add your conditioning, your gymnastics, your weightlifting. Then you have the sport at the top. You need to start at the bottom and work your way up. You can't just go in and expect to start at the top of the sport thinking, I'm going to start the sport and then I'm going to be good to compete. Build that strong base and foundation and just build from there. It's going to take time. The people that are competing at the highest level, it's the 0.001% in the world. That's very challenging to do. What everybody messes up is they jump to the middle or the top of the pyramid and then they think it's going to happen, rather than, hey, we need to just start at the basics. If I'm shooting a basketball, if I don't have good form, I'm not going to go and compete in the NBA. If I'm shooting free throws, my technique's wrong, my elbow's out, you're not going to go and compete at the top level. It's mastering those basics and finding a gym and a coach and a group of people that are going to hold you accountable. And it's having a team of people that are going to say, hey, like, make sure you're doing this, make sure you're doing that. And accountability is the biggest thing.
I love that part of fitness and the community aspect of it. If you were talking with somebody who wanted to open a gym, Matt, maybe what advice would you share with somebody who's, I want to build a fitness facility?
Number one, don't open a gym. Open a lifestyle branded place to go hang out and work out. Figure out that lifestyle part of it. What is going to be better about your gym? I'm not saying if you're one of those guys who wants to open a Joe's gym and that's your thing, it won't work. You could do that, right? But if you really want to build something and you want to scale it, you got to start with, why are people coming here other than the gym? Forget the gym, right? So come up with that reason, and then you work down to creating the gym based on what that brand and lifestyle look like. That's what I tell them for starters. That's what'll differentiate them, because stuff changes. The one thing that won't change is people want to go to the gym for that social aspect. That's what keeps the long-term members paying $300 a month. So that's that lifestyle. That's the key. It's not hard to get good equipment. It's not hard to find a couple decent good trainers for group fitness. It's that vision.
If you weren't working in fitness, Matt, what would you be working in?
I worked on Wall Street for 17 years and I love trading stocks. So I would probably go back to doing that. But since I found fitness, I won't leave. I've wanted to leave it. Actually, it's funny. And then I realized that, like, I love it. I love the people. I love the energy. I just want to work in the fitness business. So I'm going to figure out how to make a lot of money in it and just figure it out, because I don't want to leave it. Whereas, like going back to Wall Street doesn't have the same people as fitness and the same energy. It's different. Great place, don't get me wrong. But it's, when I worked helping women lose weight, like, I was so good at it and it made me feel so good. Like, I just want to keep helping people in fitness business and building cool places.
Spencer, what about you? Like, if you weren't CrossFitting and HYROXing and tactical gaming and running your gym, if you weren't involved in fitness at all, what would you be doing?
See, it's hard for me because I'm the type of person that I do everything to the extreme. But I think I would do something within, like, first responders. Like, that's something that's always been a passion for me. And like, I've been in the police academy. I'm an EMT. Like, that's always something that has been a goal of mine, and giving back to those communities and making a change. So yeah, that's probably where I would be.
I love that. We have talked about, like, a ton of things today. Is there something that's top of mind with you, Spencer, that we haven't talked about that you want to rant about real quick?
Yeah, when I look at being an athlete, when you're a kid, it's like, hey, you can do anything. But it's like, if you really, really focus, for me in CrossFit, I'm doing everything inside and outside the gym to be the best athlete that I can be. If you really do that, you can go and be successful at anything. It sounds kind of cliche. You hear your parents say, it's like, you could go be the president. But it's so true. If you really just put the work and time, energy into one specific thing, you can go and do it 100%. Or maybe I'd go and do a different sport at some point if I knew that, but it took me a long time to be able to figure that out.
It is a mental game to be a successful athlete, to be a successful entrepreneur, to be successful at anything. It's more the mindset than anything else. When you detach yourself from limitations and you detach yourself from even a specific goal, and you just say every day is just going to be a better day than the prior day, that is a freeing moment, because you really can go and chase anything you want to chase.
Absolutely.
Matt, what about you? What do you want to rant about today?
Appreciate you bringing us on. And we had a cool conversation that kind of makes me think a little bit, again, where fitness is going, change we're in. Like, a lot of people see, a lot of people don't. Fitness was stagnant for a long time, during, like, the Schwarzenegger years of barbells and stuff like that. We are in the coolest time in fitness right now, for sure, with the recovery thing, the social aspect of it. I'm just super excited as to what the future is going to be if we see these super clubs and where it's going. I hope I'm a part of it. I figure out how to stick around and be a big building block and not just watching it go by me.
Well, I totally agree. I think it is a fascinating time in the fitness industry. There's nothing but upside right now. I think you guys are taking a great approach to introducing a new brand into the US and having it be great on the equipment side, but also great on the branding side and great on that ecosystem approach to building in the fitness space. So I will share all of the links to Xpodium and to you guys in the show notes. Thank you so much for sharing everything that you did with us today on the Society Pod.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.
Thanks,
You are
Jessica.
always welcome.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Society Pod.